we're going to be going over content writing. How do I create the content? How do I submit the content? How do I give this content to my content writer? Um, blase, blase. I'm going to basically give you all a SOP for a standard operating procedure and say, this is what I give to Busio or any of my other content writers after I fill it out, because I don't want to leave any room for error. If you've ever been involved with, VAs or anybody in that nature, or even just giving work to people, there will be mess ups and screw ups if you don't give them a SOP. A SOP is just standard operating procedure, which, I usually, like for my staff, I'll do a video. When I do the schema video, we'll do the schema video, and then that schema video will I'm doing training tonight with my staff as well. So, so here is, I'm going to show you all some good content, and then I'm going to show you what it should look like, why it should look like that. And then on top of that, here's a spreadsheet that you need to fill out in regards to a standard operating procedure. So let me 1 second. So can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, this is spreadsheet, tells you is it in the US, is it British, Australia, Canadian, wherever country you need it written for, you need to type it up here, because there are different languages. Someone in Canada, and I don't do, only thing I do is straight English. So if you need UK or you need Canadian, it's not going to happen. This is not with me. So if you do, though, up here at the very top, you can go, for instance, UK, and in your content writer, as long as you have one, will write it in UK English or Canadian English. On the left, you'll see word count. Then we have the page name. And then we have the content type. Is it for a web page? Is it for a blog post, a local business service, a city location page? Is it for a product review description, affiliate buyers, press release, article rewrite, local geo page, or a custom or mother page? Just custom page / mother, or which means pillar. So you choose what type of content it's going to be. Where is it going to be appearing on? What website? You want to put your website link here if you want to put it there. You put your website link here. What's your main keyword? What do you want your H1 heading to be? If you have a page template, right, you could put it in there. Page template being, I'm going to show you a page template. Whoever's got their mic unmuted, please mute it. Thank you. So you're going to have a page template here, and your page template, we're going to show you a good article, what it should look like, all that jazz. All right, whoever's unmuted, please mute yourself. I don't have to say it again. All right. Reference URLs. Reference URLs would be a web page or that you could send the writer to for resources if you want to give them resources. I don't ever give them resources because Busio is very, very good about it. Notes and directions. This is for the individual writing the article or the web page. For instance, what do you want to appear at the top? Or what do you want to appear at the bottom? Do you want specific aspects of a website? How many headings do you want? How many words do you want in each one? What section? What's your secondary keywords? Right? General instructions for articles, pages on this sheet. Now, when you give it to them, you can actually put in, let's say, you could have 20 pieces of whatever, or 1,000 if you wanted. but I generally will give them, 20 or so and have them write them. And then once they write them, as he's writing them, Busia will send them to me as he's writing them. I haven't had another article writer. I didn't like her so much, mainly because it wasn't good enough quality for what I wanted. So I'm stuck right now. I just use Busio and one other person for my articles. This is what I use whenever I submit it to Busio. All right. Now, what would a good article look like? I'm going to show it to you on the actual website. I'm going to show it to you here first. So you have a header, you have a summary, and then what most people call a subheader, but is a summary. And then all of those summaries have subheaders, right, throughout the article. Each one of these sections are written out based upon the summary. If I gave a content writer basically my title and then my summary, they should be able to write based off of this information, if they're good enough, an article piece or page piece or blog piece or press release, whatever. All right. Why do I do summaries? Sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't do them. You don't always have to do them. It just makes your writing easier, right? Because now I have all these subheaders in here. He knows very easily what to write about, right? So if you were go to the live website, which will go to the live website, and you were to click on each one of these are called anchor texts, and it will actually take you over to the anchor text of that actual page, and I'll show that to you as well. Give me 1 second, and I'll pull it up for you. Any questions till now?
William,
Yeah, go ahead.
this is Javid. I had one question. Besides sending them that Excel sheet with all of the pages, do you also send out the website flowchart or no?
Nope.
Okay.
So here's one. So for example, this is on a client, see ship. All of these, if I was to click on any of these summaries, it takes me down to that section, right? Down to that section.
And William, you chose each of those sections because of like keyword research, right? So when you're talking about door-to-door exotic transport, there's search volume for that.
Correct. So we'll do that. And then like we've already went over in most of the classes, a lot of this stuff, but so all of these are anchor text. So they're all hyperlinked, right? And they're all your keywords, right? And then like for this section, it's a free, get your free quote today. That goes over obviously the quote page. Then enclosed car transport services. This is hyperlinked to another page, which is called enclosed auto transport. Same keyword that it's hyperlinked to. Then I use authority pages like Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini. I don't even know how to say Koenigsegg or Rolls Royce. And those are all hyperlinked out to those pages. Like we've talked about using authority signals. And then exotic auto over here. This is another page, classic car auto transport. And then you'll see multiple times, especially like on this one, we'll have a form here. This is a high level form on top of it. Because he specifically uses, he uses high level for quite a few of his clients. And this specific client we use it for. So, and that's pretty, I mean, honestly, that's how we write it's just, it's basic. It's nothing crazy or anything like that. It's the same thing I do for all other content. Is you want to make sure you have internal linking. You want to make sure you have external linking. You want to make sure you're using images. If you can use images from your GMB, if it's a local, this is not a local, this is a national. If you have any questions, let me know before I go to the next section. You have your alt tags entered in, for instance, I'll show you. Let me go back here. If we go over to this one and inspect it, antique car transport. So this whole page is about luxury or in specific antiques, classic cars, stuff like that people have that they need transported, that they want to drive on the road for, let's say, 500 miles, 1,000 miles, whatever, or they're shipping from here to Hawaii or another country. Any questions? Once again, I'm also on this day's lesson, I'm going to add in Bucio's information because people keep asking for it. It is in our sheet for the class, our master sheet. If you have any contact writers that you're wanting to give or share to other people, let me know, and then we can add them in there as well. But overall, that's really 2,000 to 3,000. No, absolutely not. 2,000 to 2,500 words is where I keep it at. The contact sheet. What do you mean the contact sheet? You mean the sheet that I'm talking about, the master sheet? Yes or no? If yes, that's actually listed in the group in the masterclass. Yes, it's in the masterclass backend. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send it to you. Home page, 1,500 words. Every other page, at least 500 to 750 is what we try to stick with. If you're doing a press release, it needs to be, I maximize them on the press releases at 2,500 words because that's what Quantum will allow you to do. And I want to use it to the max. I don't want to pay $10 for a 500 word article. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to pay $10 for a press release, which is essentially what you're paying when you use Quantum plus the lifetime membership fee, you are going to want to maximize it. You're not want to go, let me just slap a 500 word article out there. I want to put a 2,500 word article. How I also do it is I'll take and go, okay, here's 4 blog posts for the month. I take all 4 of those blog posts. They're posted during the month, right? Into that month, into that 30 days, I combine all 4 of those blog posts, combine them into a giant press release with all the GMB sweetness I talked about already. Inserting images, inserting schema, hyperlinking back to all those blogs, etc. And I'll even throw in a contact form if at all possible from high level or lead generated inside of my press releases. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yes, sir. You showed the different types of cars, I think, and they were linked. Did you say outside?
Yeah, links? Those are outbound authority links.
And so I see you have them colored separately, colored different.
Yeah, I color code a lot of things. Or in this particular, for that website, it's just, those are their hyperlinks. That's all. That's a hyperlink. They're hyperlinks in there and they're coded because they're the hyperlink. And that's what those colors are for that specific website. Now on my Excel spreadsheet, yeah, I color code my columns and stuff like that just because it helps me organize stuff. But that's my personal preference. You don't have to color code stuff. Go ahead. This is going to be a short one today. So y'all got any questions, y'all could shoot them over. Shoot them or ask them. Raise your hands. Go ahead, Brock.
It's not about content. Is that cool?
Yep, that's fine.
When you're changing a GMB address, should you redo the citations first or after you make the? Okay, perfect.
Citations first, then aggregators. Once you've done all that, then you go in there and do the address change. Not until then.
Perfect. So you get everything set up.
And on top of it, make sure your new address is registered for your credit cards, your business information, your electric bill, all that jazz.
Okay, right. So then you can have proof when they ask for it.
If it ever got suspended, then you have backup proof so you could show it to them.
Awesome. And then one other thing, this is maybe kind of silly or dumb. I don't know. Nothing's dumb, I guess. But anyways, the Google site optimization.
Yep.
Is that a thing?
We're going over that on a separate class where I'm going to be giving. Okay. I haven't given y'all everything. Nowhere near everything.
No, I figured
we're going over GStack. Like some people will sell on Fiverr and Legit, and you got all these guys. Oh, it don't work. Yet they sell them in a lot of their groups. GStacks, CloudStacks, business site, the Google site. We're going to be going over how to set up all of those. Like tomorrow. Okay. I'm pretty sure, no, tomorrow we have a guest on, but Wednesday I'll be going over schema. I'm giving you a SOP for schema and showing you exactly how to do it. If you are like insane and want to spend 5 hours doing it, then go ahead. But I'll tell you this. I mean, if you do the schema, the way we're talking about, you'll definitely rank, because essentially think of schema this way. It's like, why do you name an image with an alt tag? Because you're trying to take and give Google information. What is this image about? Because it's on this page. Schema essentially does the same thing, and you're using it to the maximum versus everybody else is just slapping in a plugin and just putting their name, address, and phone number.
Right.
That's essentially what we're doing, but we're going to be doing a SOP for that. But I'm going to have a SOP for the GStack. I'm going to tell you what software to use that no one will tell you about, because, and all the big dogs that do the SEO are all in the same group, but they'll never mention it. They'll never say, oh yeah, go over to StackSEO. Hint, StackSEO.
StackSEO.
It's called StackSEO. And you'll see a lot of big names in there that do SEO. So, but we're going to do a SOP for that. We're going to do a SOP for the cloud stack. We're going to do a SOP for all of it. We're actually going to create one. So
on Wednesday, are you going to, I was going to ask, on Wednesday, are you going to compare your schema against what Brock did?
My schema is what Brock did. So that's why I get along with Brock. Perfect. Brock's one of the few people I get along with, and Brock, he'll tell you if someone's stuff is crap or not. So
well, I just went through his template and did one and got it done, and I put it in the header.
Yeah, his template, that's not even the maxed out template.
Well, I figured not, but at the same time,
now that one's a hell of a lot better than what everybody else gives you, but that's still not maxed out. Maxed out schema is 37 pages long.
Golly. Okay, well, I'm glad I just did what I did, and I figured, hey, that was better than nothing. But
yeah, the average schema is a page. His schema is 37 pages long. Once you have the essentials on it, it's not as daunting as you think, mainly because it's really the same information just being repeated in various sections. Same keywords, same machine ID, same CID. Once you have that, you're good. Client hires, question from Anthony. Client hires me with a brand new domain name, brand new website for SEO. Best way to make sure it doesn't get stuck in the sandbox. I tell all clients personally, if you come to me with a brand new domain name, it's probably likely going to be stuck in the sandbox sometimes, just because you bought a brand new domain name. I mean, if you came to me prior to buying a domain name, I would have told you don't buy a brand new domain name, buy one that's expired. I have personally not ever been in the sandbox. That being said, with buying brand new domain names, but I'd never buy brand new domain names. I would have to really look at it, because even that being said, I have clients right now under agencies that bought brand new domain names, and in the first month they're already ranking for keywords. But like I said, I also do a lot of things in a lot of different ways. Would a powerful expired domain redirect? Yes. And that's another thing I do. I do redirects from 301s. So I do a bunch of different things, and I guess the average SEO is not going to do, and therefore maybe they get stuck in the sandbox. But I've never had that happen. The SOPs will be located in the back end of inside the course material once I create them. I have not created them yet, obviously, because we haven't done the schema course that we're going to do a schema class on Wednesday. As the SOPs are done, then I'm going to be putting the SOPs out there. Until then, no, there's no SOPs. Today's SOP on, content creation will be in the back end, which will have A, this video, B, the spreadsheet, and C, an example. No, I have not, Jarek, not yet, because we're going to go over citations, and then I have the citations to answer that question. Yes, we went over citations. It's on the citation video, and if you click tier 1 citations, it will download that citation list. Out of all those citations, only about 25 are very, 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 very important. The rest of them, to me, are cheesy citations. I would say you can do them. They're not essential. I'll get to you in a second, Marcin. I do see you, buddy. Tomorrow's guest speaker's name's Tom Wedding, and he is specifically involved in rank and rent, and he's going to be going over how to get more, if you will, more clients, prospects, A, for rank and rents, and B, just in general and for business. And I met him probably a year ago, so I've been talking for a while. Going to talk about pricing, sales process for rank and rent. We'll talk about that in our private group, or if you want to have a private phone call, you can do that, but not on this class specifically. I mean, the most I could do is, that's based on research. That's part of what I will be doing for them, is basically, for instance, I'll give you for instance. So for instance, clearly eye care. This is why I don't deal with small businesses anymore. I'm paying you this is when I was charging $400. I'm paying you $400 a month. I'm not number one, even though you are in the top 3. My phone calls are not the same. They're less. And I said, well, you gave me a baseline report. Baseline report says your calls were at 30 something calls a month. Now they're at 90 something calls a month. Problem number 1. And problem number 2, if you were to pay me, I can calculate how much. I could tell you, for example, how much is a call or a click. A click is worth in Google ads and paid ads, right? It was like $8.66 times 90 calls. If you were doing that, you'd be paying me almost $800 a month. So, that's just on calls. Now, if I did it just based on clicks, she was getting a little over $1,400 a month in clicks if she was running Google pay per click. So the reason why you want me to do the research on top of it for the rank and rent is going to be, I'm going to go, okay, this is how much you're paying. How much does a fence installer? How much are fence installations? How much are roofer in Jacksonville, roofer in Atlanta? How much do these keywords go for? And that's what I base information off of, on top of Angie's List, and how much they're going to pay for leads from places like that, or Bark. Go ahead, Marcin.
Hi. I have a question. If let's say my listing gonna be suspended, and after suspension I'm gonna add DBA, do you think it's gonna work or no?
Nope.
Have you ever tried? Or
I'm giving you my information based off of my experience. It would be no. But then again, part of the reasons why I tell people to do DBAs, LLCs, and get all this information first is I've tried it the other way and got your hand caught in the cookie jar. So I don't like getting my hand caught in the cookie jar.
My problem is I'm doing a lot of,
I know you're doing a ton of them. So.
Yeah, I get a lot of them, and they're small. It's not worth it to DBA, because from each I just getting a few phone calls per month, but it's good enough for me. But when they get suspended, so I'm doing the suburbs.
Well, that's another reason. It's like you may only get a few calls from this GMB, but let's say it's a bunch of locksmiths in one area, and you get a little call here, a little call here across 10 of them. Well, now 10 calls times 10 is 100.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing, and they, So another question is, because I got a lot of them and I got my own business. So this 3 phone calls, let's say average is very worth for me times 100, you know, there is a lot of business.
Correct.
But so it's not worth it for me to building good website for each, doing the content. So if you would just trying rank GMBs with not trying spend any money on the website, what would you do?
I don't do it. That's just me, Marson. I don't do that.
So
to me, it's a waste. You want my honest opinion? It's a waste. For me, it's a waste. Why? Because I'll just give you for example. It's just on GMB. I would rather have, and I can go back to this. I used to play when I used to play poker, right? We had something we call horses, and a horse is someone paid for me to play, and then I would also have 2 or 3 other horses in the event. Why? Because the more people I have in the event, in this case, page 1, the more chances I have in someone clicking on my ad and seeing me. If I only have GMB, I got 1 chance. I'll beat you hands down over every time. Because if I'm in GMB and I'm in organic, and even if I have pay-per-click ads running, now I got you 3 times. So I'll get more exposure than you will every time, get more traffic, more phone calls, more directions, everything. That's why.
Yeah, but okay, still I think there is no big traffic from organic anymore. But okay, and most is GMB just showing up on the position like 3, 4, 5, 6, just after I set them up. So what would you do? Just rank them, not doing anything with the website? Do you think there are suburbs, not too much competitors? Do you think just a few reviews and posting picture and post every day would rank them, or is not?
I wouldn't, because everything I do involves you have to have a website. You have to have a website, and if you don't have a website, then I would still have the Google business website.
No. I have a website for each of them, but it's one-page website with unique tile, but that's it. There is not even content.
You know, that's not a website to me. That's what we call it's in what we would call it. Go ahead, but what I would call that's basically a postcard or landing page. It's not a website. It's anything but a website.
Yeah, I was just going to add on to what you were saying, William. I don't know, but as you know, a lot of Google is making a lot of changes, and the on-page factor is growing more and more. So on-page does make a lot of difference. And also, if you become really, really good at the on-page, you may even get to the level that you may be able to pull your knowledge graph instead of the map pack.
Correct.
So William is on the point that, you know, instead of skipping and just doing 1 or 2, it's worth to go through the entire thing, because as Google changes the algorithm, you know, it will impact you less. And as your branding gets better and better and the website starts to get more and more traffic, your return on your investment will be much better that way.
But,
you know, right? The investment website is good, because if you know, I spending for do the website, you know, $5 domain, $10, and you know, and I get 3 phone calls. You know, average still is good. It's better me to do 100 or 200 of them, and it's better. I'm just neither you know, looking for the cheapest way to rank the, you know, like 200 GMBs, you know.
Yep, I understand. It's just
higher, I would say.
I mean, everything I do as a process, and then, you know, it's there. Everything's there's internal linking, then there's stacks that I do. Like even my location page, that's a stack. G stack, business sites, all that's all stacked up. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, question. So, do you like, if I just wanted to get some GMBs created, do you like sell those like per GMB?
Nope. Not unless I mean, if they're in the partner program, they'll get the GMBs. I won't sell them, but I'll actually give you access to the person, you know, that I get them from.
Yeah. Okay. I have a client in the it's a upholstery business where I need them for, but I have a hard time getting them made in that area.
You message me, I will, because I deal with you already, so I will send you my information for it.
Cool. Thanks, dude. Michael?
Okay.
Go ahead,
So
Johnny. 1 second, Marcin. Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, question. If so I have a GMB and it's ranking for like my top 5 keywords. I've been doing posts 2 times a week and pictures, like 10 pictures every other week. Does it make sense if I'm already ranking for those top keywords to keep the posts going, keep the pictures going?
Yes.
Or
I would even say do more postings, but what are you ranking 1, 2, or 3?
I'm like between like the top 4, I would say for those keywords.
Bump it some more, because I actually do 5 posts a day, 5 posts a week. And a lot of people will say, if you've watched some of the other videos, a lot of people will say, well, it's not necessarily, and they disappear after 1 week. No, they disappear off the featured after 1 week. They don't disappear off your if you will, your Google business site after 1 week. They actually populate after 1 week down there in the very bottom. And there's other places we use them. If you watch some of their videos, I take those GMB post photos and I embed them inside of my posts on my blogs, on my press releases. I put them all different types of places, and that's one of the key factors I use in getting rankings. So.
And in your experience, like an organic site, it'll, pop, from 1 to 3 to 2 to 5 to 4. Do GMBs do that as well, or do they kind of stick to their ranking for the most part? What have you seen?
Can you say that again?
So like for organic for the website, like I've seen my website kind of bounce between 1 to 3 to 4 back to 2, it's kind of, goes up and down.
No, GMB does the same thing.
Okay.
Because I've seen them, especially with a new GMB. Same thing with a website. Sometimes you'll see with a website, they'll come in high and they'll drop, and then they'll bounce back and forth, and then they'll stabilize.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
As we call it in Google, it's yo-yo effect, but so what most people call it. Go ahead, Marcin.
Okay. So do you, like I said before, I got, not much competitor. They're very easy, small towns, not competitor. But do you think just posting, post and picture, they're gonna move anything or not? Because I really just started a week ago.
I can't even answer that question because it's not a process I do. I mean, I can only talk about what I do and what I practice. So for me, whenever I do something that involves a website, involves a GStack, Cloud Stack, all the posts, all the stuff I normally do for GMB, everything tied together. So I could tell you it may, but I don't know without actually doing it. And I don't want to give you information without actually having practiced it. You understand what I'm saying?
So, yeah, another question. So do you think if for a so small website, let's say I will build them bigger and make like 10,000 words content, just with the content, do you think it ranked the GMB?
I mean, it's likely. I've seen people in small towns. I mean, like for instance, I'm in Pagadian in the Philippines. I literally built out a 7-page website, did 1 GMB. We dominated page 1. I had like 5 or 6 spots that were number 1, 6, 7, 8, and literally dominated. So it's very possible when you have no competition. You don't even need a damn website. You can use the Google business site. It's just not something I do. So I know it's possible. It's just not something I can tell you, hey, you got to do this, 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 and this, because it's not something I do. It's something I'm a practitioner of. Naos, for a vegetable delivery service in Chicago, if they deliver in 120 towns and suburbs of Chicago and the neighborhood counties, do we make service pages every single one? Yes, every single one of them. Or because there are too many? Nope, it's never too many. No such thing. How do I find the area that my GMB reaches? The one with the colored dots, that is Local Falcon. Local Falcon or Bright Local does that. and Bright Local's the other one, which Sean went over. I don't use Bright Local, and the other one is lead generated. Go ahead, Brock.
Coming. Okay, so kind of related to that. So building out on the service pages, so not the, I'm going to differentiate between the location pages and service pages. On the service pages, do you put the city in the H1 tag when you're building just out the service page?
I put the main city I'm wanting to rank for. Let's say it's in Las Vegas, and I'll mention Las Vegas. You know, on my location pages, I'll literally go, okay, what are all the areas in Las Vegas? Because there's tons of different neighborhoods and areas in Las Vegas.
Right.
For instance, if you go to some of the moving sites we've done, we'll have all the different apartments, condo complexes, neighborhoods. It's not just neighborhoods, and it's not just location pages. It's what's in those locations.
So then if that service page like that you have for Las Vegas, are you then going to build a location page that's specifically for Las Vegas, or just the areas around Las Vegas?
Just the areas around Las Vegas.
Okay, so if the business is in Las Vegas, the service pages are for Las Vegas, and they have the H1 headlines with Las Vegas.
For all the additional areas, you can, and it's not going to hurt you any, but is it necessary? No.
And then, well, and so then, like, what I was wondering about then was if, sorry, this is getting, I hope it's not too complicated. So then if your service pages have the H1 with the city, so like Las Vegas in it, and you're not building a location page that's specifically for Las Vegas, like, what about the GMB proximity signals? Do you put those on the service page that says Las Vegas, or you just do it on the location pages that are around Las Vegas?
So for instance,
sorry, there's a lot.
So for instance, the proximity signals you're referring to are the things to do, places to go, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Like I said, you don't have to do that specific city. You can, it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
Because you got to understand, if I do a Las Vegas, my main site just mentions a header in the header, let's say painter near Las Vegas, right? So, and then I do a service page. Yes, it's going to say, for instance, painter in Las Vegas, but all the information on there is going to have every single painting service that I do. And then at the very bottom, it's going to have a crap ton of more information. So it's not going to look like a doorway page or a duplicate content page. So it's going to look separate. I mean, it's going to be a separate page.
So you would still go ahead and make a location page for it, I guess, if you were having a hard time ranking. Okay, cool.
Any other questions?
I have one. I had one.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you saw it. So it says that for a vegetable delivery service.
Yeah, I already answered that one. Yes.
In 120 towns and suburbs in Chicago and the neighboring counties.
Yes.
Do we make service pages for every one of them?
Correct.
Or just for the main ones like Chicago and the two counties? Because there are too many. There are 120. And Cook County is the second biggest county in America.
Nope, it's not too many.
I have a customer like that. That's why I'm asking.
No, yes. You can't hear me. Yes. I answered that one about 5 minutes ago. Yes.
I was listening to something else and I had the. Apologies, guys.
Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
We have to do 120.
Yep. And there's never. There's never too many. When do I plan on achieving world domination? That's funny. You know, one of my favorite cartoons as a kid was Pinky and the Brain, Anthony.
William, if you do the website and they do SEO, you're doing it's included in the price, even if there are 120. Cool, got you.
You know about the Chicago. You know, I got my GMBs in Chicago. I'm doing GMB for each of this. Actually, there is more than 120 towns around Chicago. There's over 200, and I'm doing each separate GMB for each. Actually, planning to do twice for each town. So before for a different business, I got the sub page for each town for 5 websites. So this is the way I was doing that.
I will check on that. They are
I always
they're
just tell you,
delivering
dude, there's no quote unquote, it's never going to be, to me, I just never seen it. There's never going to be too many per se.
William, you might suggest that they do, because they are delivery service. They have one base. You might suggest that they take other GMBs around the city too.
Yes.
To position themselves. Yes.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
It's part of the reason why I was telling you in the partner program, you know, because you could do multiple GMBs, etc. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, about the text, you know, do you think, let's say I got the website where it's already 10,000 words. Is it worth it to add more, like 20,000? Is any difference?
Not if you're doing in small cities. It's not. You don't have to do it in small cities. That's what I was saying. In a small city, all I need is a business site, and I can get you ranked if I need to. I've done it before. It's just not something I'm a practitioner of.
You know, actually, you know, I got different for a different business. I'm ranking with duplicate content website for 40 small towns in Chicago.
I believe it.
Yeah. So, but I just, you know, I'm just doing and took, you know, actually they rank itself after 3 to 6 months. You know, I didn't have to do almost nothing. I just want to just speed it up. You know, I never even add any picture or post. So I just started right now for like 100 GMBs, adding the picture and post every day. And I just started like a few days ago, 2 weeks ago. And I just wondering if it's gonna even work, because it's a lot of work for my employees, you know, to do it.
I understand. It's just not something, you know, like I said, if for me, I just wouldn't, if it's a small town, I wouldn't do it. Another question Brock had, what are we going to do tonight? The same thing we do every night, try to take over SEO. Well, tonight,
No. I was quoting Pinky.
Yeah. Well,
That's not the question.
Why are we going to do the same thing we're doing tonight?
Same thing we do every night. Try to take over SEO.
Tonight, my time versus y'all's morning time, we're actually going to be talking to Craig Campbell.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be on, you know, doing a little class podcast with me. So, but yeah, I used to watch that all the time. What are we going to do tonight, Pinky? Try to take over the world. You know?
That's it.
So
that's it.
Any other questions? I'm going to get off here because I've been on here since like 8 a.m. So any other questions? If not, I will be answering everybody about rank and rent and all your and sending out invoices, stuff like that in the next day. And I will talk to you guys soon. If you have any questions, email them to me and I will get back to you.
Thanks for your time, William.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Night.